Hi guys, my name is Cecilia and I'm here to talk about stop motion. So first of all, what is stop motion? Stop motion is a technique used to animate certain objects such as ceramics, clay, Legos, and in some cases people. These objects are then manipulated and photographed within each frame. So once all the frames are added together, it looks like they're moving independently. The earliest stop motion to exist was the Humpty Dumpty Circus by J. Stewart Blackton and Albert E. Smith in 1898. The idea arose from Albert using his daughter's toys and manipulating them into doing things like acrobats and making the wooden toy animals feel alive. Unfortunately, the film was lost due to the fact that because it was old and how at the time it didn't have the technology to preserve that type of film. But there's only one surviving image by Science PG, and the image is. As time passed, people started making more stop motion, improving the quality of this technique, and started using them in films along with actresses. An example would be from 1925's The Lost World. The Lost World is about a time where prehistoric creatures still roam the planet and was very impressive for its time. It was essentially about proving the existence of dinosaurs and rescuing a character named Maple White who was left from the last expedition. Here's a clip of the Allosaurus getting eaten by another dinosaur. When this movie came out, people were so impressed they thought the dinosaurs were actually realistic, but it was just amazing special effects. Using clay is an extremely creative way to use stop motion because you can mold the clay into anything you want, from character, object, or something that doesn't even exist at all, into whatever you want. Here's a YouTuber who specializes in clay uh, by the name of Goldies. Here's the clip. That was an example of an influencer using clay into a cute character trying to lift weights. Although that was an example from an influencer, here is an example of a film that I personally enjoyed called Coraline. Here's the clip.
This piano plays me. Ugh.
Making up a song about Coraline. She's a peach, she's a doll, she's a pal of mine. She's as cute as a button in the eyes of everyone who ever laid their eyes on Coraline. When she comes around exploring, Mom and I will never ever make it boring. Our eyes will be on Coraline.
Coraline was made by Leica Pananomium Films, and it took 4 years to make with 500 people who contributed to the film. The characters in the animation were made out of puppets that were tweaked millimeter by millimeter. However, it wasn't always easy for stop motion producers. In 1952, filmmaker Norman McLaren had created a film called Neighbors, and it received an Academy Award in 1953 to send a nice message about anti war and peace since there was a Korean War happening at the time of the production. The film was about two men who were fighting over a flower and who decides to own it. As explained by Eskier, it gained controversy because it had shown the two men kill each other's wife and children in the original video. This was the earliest known controversial film that had involved the stop motion technique. That was the part that gained lots of bad attention, but here's the part that McLaren actually used stop motion. People ignore the actual message, which was love thy neighbor, but at least it still won an award. Overall, stop motion has shaped the industry of animation up until today with so many iconic films up until 1898's Humpty Dumpty Circus to Coraline in 2009 and many more iconic films that haven't been mentioned in this presentation, such as Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio in 2022 as the latest stop motion. One question for you guys is, what's your favorite stop motion film?